Thank you for dumping your awful extended families at our hotel for the holidays.
5 months. I have worked at this property for 5 months. And in those 5 months, I'd say 9/10 guests have been overly pleasant. Every now and then, someone will complain. Someone will be really weird. Someone will have horns blown on their behalf and a red carpet thrown across the floor so as to not soil their pristine super shiny status shoes. But for the most part, the guests here haven't been so bad. And then this past week, the sun fell behind the darkest of clouds, the temperature dropped below freezing, an eerie silence befell the rolling hills and frigid mountains, and the leaves eagerly fled from the trees to burrow deep in the ground, hiding among the company of bugs and other critters terrified of what they sensed was coming, dawn of the Karens. We want a quiet room, no road noise, a big bag toting, dyed blonde hair creature bellowed at me and my coworker upon entering the lobby. Our hotel is nowhere near a major road. But okay, maybe you don't know that. Not even 10 minutes pass and the situation repeats with what was undoubtedly a clone. We want a quiet room, no road noise, a big bag toting, dyed blonde hair creature bellowed at me and my coworker upon entering the lobby. Later, the lobby doors open once more. Do you have to work Thanksgiving? A lady asked me on check-in, one day before the holiday. I do. I'll be here. She puckers her lips and feigns sorrow. Ah, she coos. I hate making my employees work on the holidays. I bet you feel really bad about it as you drop $200 staying with us tonight, ma'am. Another lady walks in. I'd like to check in. Me, okay, what's the name? It's under my husband's name. Me, is he here with you? Excuse me, sweaty but no. He's not. Me, he'll need to be here with you to check in. I don't have your name on the reservation. Excuse me, sweaty but no. Other properties have let me do this before. Me, we can get in touch with him to verify you're allowed to check in under his stay. Excuse me, I'm sweaty but this is ridiculous. Fine, call him. And I called him. And he's okay with it. But that's not the point. The situation repeats, albeit a little differently, sometime later. I'd like to check in. I find her reservation and proceed to start the check-in process. This is my husband's credit card. I stop and look at her. Is he here with you tonight? She looks offended. Excuse me, he's in another state but said I could use his card. In my head, I am now pleading for Thor to strike me dead with a merciful bolt of lightning. I can't use his card if he's not here, I reply. This is ridiculous. Other properties have let me do this before. I bet they have. I'll just step out and call him, she threatens, disappearing into the night. I don't see her again for the remainder of my shift. An older couple approaches the desk shortly after check-in. The man is balding, pale, and speaks like the worst impression of Tom Brokaw you've ever heard. His wife is smiling, pleasant, quiet. Brokaw, MRR? Yeah. So we'd like to book another night. Me, sure, Wife, I thought we were going to the other hotel tonight. Brokaw, MRR? No, we're staying here. Wife, but aren't we? Brokaw, MRRR, would you shut the hell up? Wife, you said. Brokaw turns to her and hoists a bony finger to his crusty lips. Shh. I stand there, stunned, watching the freak show of a late-stage marriage that will almost certainly end in either divorce or an episode of Unsolved Mysteries. As they walk away, I hear the wife saying, "Don't ever talk to me like that again in front of people." Brokaw returned later that night to throw his dirty towels at me and demand a fresh set. My coworkers have reported similar encounters. Again, none of these are normal. at least not in such a short span of time for our property. One guest verbally assaulted my coworker. I don't know if this is the maid staff's way of getting a laugh by pissing off the customer, because the settings on his television were off. Another guest moved rooms 6 times. 6 times. 6 times. My coworker was visibly shaken, detailing the story to me. She was super rude, and no matter how many times I moved her, I could not make her happy. Nothing worked. You know the type. They come in looking for problems, and this week, we've had them all. We got your awful mother-in-law. We got your rude grandfather. The influx has been extraordinarily noticeable, and this ridiculous holiday is my #1 culprit. It wasn't all bad though, and I'll end with a positive note. One older guest was determined to make me laugh and kept coming up to the desk with jokes that he thought were super clever, even though many of them are played out dad jokes that I've heard a million times. But I could tell he genuinely enjoyed making others smile, which I appreciated, especially the last few days, so I played along. But this one actually got me. We had a few moments of downtime, and this guest approached the desk, smelling a little boozy from a night out at a nearby steakhouse. Okay, so when Beethoven passed away, he was buried in a churchyard. A couple days later, the town drunk was walking through the cemetery and heard some strange noise coming from the area where Beethoven was buried. Terrified, the drunk ran and got the magistrate to come and listen to it. When the magistrate arrived, he bent his ear to the grave, listened for a moment, and said, "Ah, yes, that's Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, being played backwards." He listened a while longer. "There's the Eighth Symphony, and it's backwards, too. There's the Seventh. The Sixth. The Fifth." "Backwards?" asked the drunk. "Why?" Suddenly the realization of what was happening dawned on the magistrate. He stood up and announced, "There's nothing to worry about. It's just Beethoven decomposing. This guest always has a place here. But the other ones? I hope when the new year hits, they stay far away for another 11 months. I'll take my regulars, my super shiny status members, my just passing through folks, my weird sketchy locals, and the occasional Karen. But this week has been too many in too short of a time period, and I need a break." Have any other properties noticed a change in guest type since Thanksgiving week started? Edit. Sweaty is a deliberate typo.
How I got an angry vet to apologize.
This was a couple years ago in Portland, Oregon. Man with a vet hat full of ribbons and a pissy attitude comes in and hands me an expired military ID. I tell him I need a valid ID. He starts fuming and steaming, saying that it was good enough for the TSA. "You're pissing me off, kid," and so on. I calmly say, "Sir, I'm just doing what they trained me to do." I didn't choose my words for effectiveness, but at the word trained I saw the wheels start turning in his head of all the crap dudes that yelled in his face in basic or wherever, and this guy straight melted. "I'm sorry, son. You didn't deserve that for doing your job." Was a big first for me to get an old white vet to admit he was wrong at the moment. Don't know if it would work again, but it's worth a shot.
Why do people think we need to have a sign that says every policy on it?
I just had a woman try to check in with a green dot card. I apologized, and told her that we do not take green dot cards. We only take credit or bank debit cards. She assured me her card was fine because it has her name on it, and I assured her it was not, because it's a green dot card. She showed me her name on it, and I politely pointed out that that was not the issue in question. The issue is that it's a green dot card. She then offered her Cash App card, and I had to explain that no, they're not a bank either. When that didn't work, she said, "I'm not trying to go above you or whatever, but can I talk to a manager?" Now, I would argue that that is exactly what going above you is, but I didn't say that to her. And even though, can I talk to a manager? Maybe there is a get what you want button at other businesses, it is not here. Especially when I am the manager on duty. So I informed her that I am the manager on duty, and that our policy stood and we wouldn't be making any exceptions to it. Finally, she pulled out what she seemed to think was her trump card. "Lady, well, can you show me where it says that?" "Bran, sure." So I pulled a bus driver and tapped the sign. She read it out loud, so I know she read it. When she got to the third paragraph, she got very excited. "Lady, my name does match." "Bran, yes, that's not the issue. The issue is that it's a green dot card." I tapped the sign again where it says green dot specifically, so she can't even complain that it doesn't mention the kind of card she has. She asked again for me to make an exception. I declined and gave her the name of the next closest hotel.
We just drove 5 hours to get here.
If there is any one thing that has consistently baffled me in my 11 years in hospitality, it has to be people showing up 4, 5, 6, or even 15 hours before check-in and becoming indignant when I tell them I don't have a room ready for them yet. Case in point, I get a phone call at 12:45 from a gentleman who has a reservation for tonight. He wants to see if an early check-in is possible, ideally, in the next hour. I ask for his name, pull up his reservation, and see that he has booked a suite with 2 double beds, a room type that we will only have one of tonight. Here, I should mention a few things. Our check-in time is 4 p.m. Our checkout time is noon. We were completely sold out last night. We had 2 large groups in-house who were all due out today, one for a wedding and one for a family reunion. At the time I received the call about the early check-in, none of these rooms, including the sole double queen suite, had checked out yet. They were in it for the long haul. I inform the gentleman on the phone of all these circumstances, and tell him that while I can still get him in earlier than 4 o'clock, the earliest will probably be around 2. He says that's fine and he'll see me in a couple hours. All good, right? I don't know what the fuck happened in this guy's brain between the time he hung up the phone and the time he showed up at the desk 45 minutes later, but here's how it went. I'll be me. The guy who apparently disregards any information relevant to his travel itinerary immediately after hearing it will be Guy. Me, hello. Welcome. How can I help you today? Guy, hi. I called about an early check-in a while ago, not sure who I talked to, but the reservation is under. Me, a bit confused, yeah, that was me you spoke with earlier, but as I said on the phone, we don't have any rooms yet and probably won't. Guy, yeah, but that was 45 minutes ago. I figured you'd have one ready by now. Me, still a bit confused, yes sir, but as I said on the phone, we only have one of the room type you reserved available for the night, and that room was still occupied at the time you called. Guy, well, we left, city name, at 7 a.m. and just got off the road. My kids have been stuck in the car for 5.5 hours. Me, I understand. But as I said on the phone, my best estimate for when that room will be ready is 2 p.m. Guy, you don't have any rooms ready? Me, the only rooms I have ready are king standards and I don't. Guy, that won't work. I've got my wife and 3 kids with me. Can you just call me when the room is ready? Me, of course, sir. Jesus Christ. I have to point out that the guy wasn't being too rude, and I can understand that he's probably worn out from a 5-hour road trip with 3 kids, but why the hell would you just show up an hour and a half earlier than when you were told the room would be ready? I don't understand why people think they can play it so fast and loose with check-in times. If you had a reservation at a restaurant, would you show up 3 hours early and expect to get seated? If you have a doctor appointment at 3:45, are you going to show up at 1 o'clock and act incredulous when the receptionist tells you to have a seat? If you get to the airport 5 hours early, do you expect the fucking plane to take off? I just don't understand why this dude had to get on the road at 7 a.m. when he knew how long the drive would take and obviously knew what time to check in was.
Apparently, I am no longer allowed to take a shit.
I swear I can never take a shit in peace at this goddamn place. Since it's a holiday, I am the only one at the desk. Last I checked, I'm human, and not only do I piss, I also shit. Fucking crazy, right? Backstory: I drank 3 cups of coffee this morning. This information will come into play later in the story. You know when you really gotta shit at work, but since you are working the front desk you gotta wait until the time is right. You know that feeling with your turd is crowning, turtle heading if you will? Well, that was happening to me. So I put the sign up that I will be stepping away and ran up the stairs like I was Rocky or some shit. I hate being the only one at the desk when I gotta take a shit. I just know some shit's gonna happen when I'm away. Unintended lol. I come down the steps now refreshed, feeling like a new man. Some grumpy lady is at the desk, and the phone has been ringing like crazy. I checked the lady in first cause she was so pissed. Bum ditch, where were you? I have been waiting for forever. Me, sorry I just had to go to the bathroom? I left the sign at the desk and I'm the only one here. BD, whatever. Glares at me for the entire check-in process. Phone is still fucking ringing. I answer the phone. Caller, something I was about to call the cops? Me, I'm sorry, what is going on? Caller, there is a disabled person trying to check in, and she's been there for 5 minutes now. No one was at the front desk and I am about to call the cops. Me, There was a sign at the desk saying I was stepping away. I had to go to the bathroom. I am the only one at the desk and step away to go potty sometimes. Wanted to say shit, but didn't want to get a complaint. I didn't let him say anything and hung up on that annoying hoe. Today is a holiday. I would rather be with my family and friends than be at this shithole helping shitty customers dealing with their shitty attitudes just cause I wanted to take a shit. PB poo poo, I'm out, peace.
Real life princess demands lots of things, including illegally. Gets nothing.
Well, she must think she's royalty to fucking talk to me like she does. It's 4 a.m. and this guest calls. When I answer, she talks over my greeting and demands I send up robes and slippers. We do not, nor have we ever, had robes and slippers. I informed her that. But you promised robes and slippers when I made my reservation. I double-checked her reservation. She booked a third party. God damn it. I fucking hate Otis. They're constantly getting shit wrong, and one specific Oda loves lying to people about services we have and sends the heat onto us. Fuck you, pagan duh. I'm sorry, but it looks like you booked through an online travel agency. They must have misinformed you about our services. Unfortunately, we don't have any direct control over what third parties advertise, but we will follow up with them for corrections on their website. She demands robes and slippers another 4 times, ignoring me when I say we literally have none. What finally got through to her was, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Your third party misinformed you about what we have. I literally do not have any robes or slippers to give you. I figured when she sighed, that was the end of it. Nah. Of course not. She demanded free food, delivered to her room. We do not have room service, and our kitchen opens up for breakfast service at 7 a.m. She demands an apple and some sandwiches be brought up to her room. I reiterate. No, I'm sorry. I can't do that. We do not offer any room service, and our kitchen is closed. I tell her we have a snack market she can buy things from. Okay, well, can I have free snacks brought up to my room? I tell her I cannot give them to her for free, but I'm happy to ring them up for her as a room charge and send them up. Yeah, no, you better either bring me an apple or tell your kitchen to get up off their ass. They're literally sleeping at home right now, princess. Absolutely fucking not, I reiterate when they open and repeat that we have a snack market. Well, send me up apples and sandwiches from your stupid market then. I tell her, no, we don't sell fresh open food in our market because that's what the kitchen is for. And our kitchen is closed currently. Well, what good is the brand, then? Do you at least have weed papers? Lamau. We are a fully non-smoking hotel with a $250 fine. I let her know. We do not have nor sell any tobacco or smoking products of any kind, especially considering we are a non-smoking hotel where smoking is not allowed anywhere on the premises. This goes right over her head. Boring. Can I have free wine then? Take it up to my room. Oh my fucking god, this woman. I tell her it's currently 4 a.m., and per Oregon law I cannot sell or serve alcohol after 2:30 a.m. She responds, you're not selling it, you're gonna give it to me for free. So just deliver it. I was literally speechless for a minute. I've dealt with Karens, demanding people, and brats before, but I've never had someone command me around like that, especially over the phone, right after I told them what they're asking is illegal. I responded, under no circumstances is that happening. I will absolutely not sell or deliver wine to you. It is against the law until 7 a.m. to do so. She's quiet for a moment, fuming I guess, and starts off raising her voice at me. Well, what good is the brand, then? What's so good about this place? We are a very pricey hotel, and in fact, the most expensive hotel in the town. Her rate was somewhere at $300 a night. I get she wanted fancy services you see in the movies, but this isn't Home Alone and she's not at the fucking Trump Tower. It's Oregon. Not New York. Not Las Vegas. We're not even in Portland, Bend, or another major city. It's a pretty small town. And it's a really nice fucking hotel, to be fair. I tried to tell her we have free, convenient parking, we are the most secure hotel in town, we're spotlessly clean and modern, and she's currently sitting in a top floor corner room with a gorgeous view and a panoramic window, but before I could get a word in edgewise, she demands we at least deliver 8 pillows so I can feel like I'm sleeping with someone tonight. TMI lady, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, but we have a delivery limit. I can deliver a maximum of 3 pillows to you. She responds to that by demanding 10 pillows instead. I can have 3 pillows delivered to you. She hung up on me. I had my housekeeper deliver her 3 pillows. And a no smoking notice, lmao. I'll throw an update on here in an edit if my GM or AGM decide to charge her a smoking fee. Update. You'll all be happy to know I found her reservation, and she was charged the smoking fee. I don't have any more updates right this minute, but I'll ask my AM shift coworker, the same one who made the charge, about it in the morning and edit in an update, if there is one, when I get home from work. The room is also listed as out of order, unfortunately, because the smoking smell stuck to the room and we have to use a special machine to get the smell out. I believe we use an ozone generator, but I don't work with daytime housekeeping, so I'm not actually sure what we use. Point being, nobody was able to check into the beautiful high floor corner room she was in because it was out of order. We generally don't sell rooms that smell like a stale frat house. We are also fully booked for that room type today, so a different guest had to check into a different room type, effectively a downgrade, although compensated, because of the princess's selfish behavior. So that sucks.
Please, for the love of any god out there, if you're having a huge wedding and everyone has the same last name,
please let them know confirmation numbers will be mandatory, and if you don't have one, you won't be checked in. This weekend has been hell. Huge Indian weddings, all the same last name and many with the same first names, and it leads to utter chaos. Especially when charges are routed to master, so we just need a CC for incidentals. People checking into rooms they shouldn't be, rooms being shuffled around, reservations being changed last minute. The guests are the sweetest people. None of them have been any trouble, but checking them in has been an absolute nightmare because one guest with the same name will be in the room of another, or we checked into one room but actually really be in another.